Hi Pooja, how are you?
Hi, Sasirekha. I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you so much for being here on this live session today. Let's wait for a few more people and then we'll start the session. All right.
Okay.
So how is the weather in Pune? All good?
Pune, yeah, it's actually getting very warm to start with. So it's the change of the season. First, the summer
Okay,
is setting in, and yes, it's very, very warm. How
great,
about
great.
Chennai?
It's already warm. It's heating up. That's what I should put in. It is heating up and in the mid of next month and all like completely burning. Already people started feeling too much of heat during the daytime. So, yeah. All right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Limitless Life Insights with an expert. Today, I have brought in a wonderful person, a coach from yet another industry and a domain altogether. I welcome Pooja Porwal to our community here today to share with us the insight about how you can actually develop your career, because career is something very important pillar for each one of our life, because we all need money, right? So if you need money, type money in the chat box. And yes, Pooja is actually a career development coach, career planning coach. So she is actually doing a career, advancement circle. So in her community, she is supporting many IT professionals in terms of how they can grow in their career, how they can actually plan for the promotion and things like that. So I don't want to waste each one of your time just by talking something. Let me start interviewing Pooja so that she can start giving us more insight in terms of what she is actually going to give us as strategies and all the other inputs that we can actually follow. All right, so let's start with the interview with Pooja Porwal. Hi Pooja. Thank you so much for
Hi.
taking your time to be here today, and I'm really thankful for that, because you know very well that I'm basically focusing on emotional balancing to many of the working women, busy women, and these busy women, most of them are from IT companies as well, right? So if you talk about when you talk about career growth and planning, how would you actually take this journey in your community? What is the plan for career planning and all that?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Thank you first of all for having me here, Sasirekha. It's really lovely to have this opportunity to talk to you and to talk to all the wonderful people who are listening to us. Uh, I am working with the IT industry for past 18 plus years now. I started my career in 2005, and I have been through everything that a IT professional would go through in their lifetime with almost 2 decades, right? So yes, there are times when you need to decide whether you want to prioritize family when you have children or you want to prioritize your career. Then there are times when you don't see growth coming your way even after doing all the hard work. And lots of ups and downs that we have to go. And as women, we anyway have too many things to manage in our lives. And this was something which was ingrained in me by my grandfather. He have been an inspiration all his life. And he was somebody who was very generous, very, very deeply ingrained in him was the fact that education is very, very important. And that's how he, even though in my family women never used to study so much, he still ensured that me and my sister got our engineering degrees, were free to do jobs, became independent. And that's how I started as an IT professional. Otherwise I belong to a very small place, and graduating in itself is a big deal, or used to be a big deal back then. I mean, it was
Okay.
almost 19 years back that I graduated.
Mm.
And in in all these years, I also realized the importance of education. And after my grandfather passed away, I actually wanted to basically take something from him and
Mm.
assimilate into me. So his love for learning, education, and giving it back to the society is what I got from him. And my current mission is basically to help 100,000 IT professional to find and achieve their dream career and their career goals. So
Amazing.
formula that we apply here in my community is we first try and understand what are the important factors for promotion from an individual perspective as well as from an organization's perspective. Then we do an internal assessment of values, passions, interests, skill sets, and come up with a plan. So we first decide what is the career ladder that we want to climb, and then based on that we come up with a plan. And according to the plan, then there are actions and milestones that people need to follow. So that becomes their North Star. Now, obviously, every plan have to be, redesigned at some point in time because it's like a continuous process. So people need to do that as and when it is required. And along with that, we also do a lot of soft skill training to handle office politics, have a work-life balance, which is very, very important from my perspective, because I believe in the philosophy of having everything. And if I'm just doing work and nothing else, then that's not really living by that philosophy. So I want everybody to have that kind of freedom also, wherein they are more productive, more efficient, and are able to get their work done in the amount of time that is given to them in their working hours, rather than it sipping into their personal lives. Then we do a lot of things around personal branding, networking, and everything that is important to have a successful career, which majority of people don't know. And one of the unique thing that I offer personally is the mindset shifts and how basically things happens in your head first and then in the real life. So that's one of the major part of my coaching training, which is different from other people, wherein we work a lot on ourselves also, because unless you feel that you are worthy, you are deserving, nothing will really come your way, right? So yes, those are all the things that
That's something sounds very interesting, Pooja, because working from inside out is very important, because nowadays I would say like most of us are not like that, including myself as well, because most of the time we do things on the external world, but nothing works on the internal world, which is very quite important. And I wanted to ask you this, when it comes to career planning, why only IT? Because there are also many other industries, and do you resonate more with IT people, or how it basically works? What is that is driving towards IT?
So basically, I have been in the IT industry for almost 2 decades now, right? So I have a lot of experience in this industry, and I understand their pain points and their concerns and whatever they are going through. Although similar principles would apply to all the other streams also, because soft skills more or less are similar everywhere. But then I may not know their problems, or what is it that's really stopping them from progressing, because each industry have their own set of terminologies that they use and the way they work and the target operating models that they follow. So because I do not have a lot of experience in those spaces, I thought I'll start with IT, because that's where I know it inside and out. And then maybe if I feel at a later point in time that I can help everybody else also, because as a coach it shouldn't really matter, but then I just thought of starting with the IT professional, because I have a lot of background information on them which I do not have for other people.
So what I'm trying to understand something here, like, what do you think is the potential challenge that any person face when they wanted to get into an IT field, just after their studies, when it comes to challenges part?
I think right after they have graduated, if they get a campus placements, then there is nothing really as a challenge.
Yes,
but then
not
with campus
everyone.
placements, the only thing that they may have to go through is they may get into something that they may not want to do, like from a role perspective. Let's say they do not want to be a developer, but then the company chooses them to become a developer after the trainings and everything. So that can be a challenge that they have, which can be easily resolved after some point in time with lateral movements within the same organization, or even moving to a new organization.
I understand. Pooja, is there some some set of skill sets that they need to acquire before even they get into a corporate ladder? How it basically works? Is there a kind of bridge between the college life and then the corporate life? Because nowadays, if you look at it, many people, once after their college, either they get onboarded on the campus, or they have to look on their own. Right. So yes, I'm just ignoring those lucky people who get onboarded on the campus interview itself, because that's just few percentage of people. But most of the college students, they get placed outside the world because they have to go search for a job and all that. So what skill set would you suggest for them to start working towards their interviews and all that?
First thing first is to know yourself and really see whatever you're getting into is where you want to be. Because I've seen a lot of youngsters today. Uh, Either they know very surely, like my daughter knows very surely what she really wants to do. She's 15 now, and she knows where she wants to go when it comes to her career. But I've also met a lot of other children who are not very clear on what they want.
Hmm.
And then they just get into something. After trying it for a few years, they get disappointed, want to do something else. So first thing is to know what you really want. Second thing is having the required skill sets. Usually technical skill sets are something that you can acquire, and
Hmm.
so are the soft skills. But I've always felt that soft skills are more important than your technology skills, because they help you survive in a variety of different roles.
Mm-hmm.
So the most important ones that I feel are, one is emotional intelligence or empathy. You should really be able to connect to people that you're working with in
Exactly.
whatever capacity, because as you grow and you start leading teams,
Hmm.
if you have that connection with your team wherein you are able to connect with them emotionally and have that kind of trust built, then you have a lifetime of loyalty, and people don't really leave you. And even when you need them to work hard or work extra hours, they would do it without complaining much.
Hmm.
So that's very, very important.
Hmm.
And it can really help you as a starter also, because then you again build a very good relationship with all the colleagues and senior managers around you. And
Hmm.
when you are actually known as a good person by everybody within the organization, it actually helps you to grow very fast, because
Okay.
everybody would vouch for you.
Hmm.
Another thing is honesty, integrity, and authenticity. So these are the qualities or the values that I go by, and I personally feel that they are. Most of us have that, because being Indian, it's kind of ingrained in us from a very
Ingrained.
young life.
Yes. Hmm.
Uh, so we all have it, but then there are times when we forget to practice it,
Hmm.
or we just get into some situation wherein it becomes difficult. But then practicing being authentic all the time, or as much as possible for you, also helps, because then it keeps you internally fulfilled.
Hmm.
Okay, otherwise if you're not living by your values, you may be earning a lot of money, but you would always have that void in between, and you'll feel that okay, things are not working the way they should be working, and you
Hmm.
sometimes don't even know the root cause. It's usually that you have an integrity gap or a values gap, as we call it. And good communication is always very, very important, because without good communication, where would you
It's
land
not
up,
possible.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that irrespective of language, because sometimes we just put in the barrier of language that, okay, I don't know English, but then all the uh, communication is happening actually in English. But
Hmm.
then, I mean, verbal is only what 20% of what we say, right? Majority of time, it's your tone, your pitch, your body language, which speaks the 80% of it. So work on that, work on the language skills also. Like
Hmm.
before I started with the IT industry, I had to work with a call center for 6 months.
Oh.
And that's where I actually honed my language skills, because as I told you, I belong to a very small place. So even though I studied from English medium, it was only English medium. I could not speak English that well.
Okay.
And after coming to college also, it wasn't that great. But then in my 6 months with the call center, I actually honed that skill.
Hmm.
So there are these transferable skills that we build on one job that can be pulled onto another. And
Hmm.
similarly in life also, we have those skills that we can basically move from one job to another job.
Hmm.
So these are the three, four things which are important for freshers also. Work on your empathy, work on your communication skills, always work with the honesty, integrity, and authenticity,
Yeah.
and
That's
just do your best. Don't take shortcuts.
Yes,
They
that's
they
really
would work.
amazing, Pooja, because you rightly said we need to have our own value system in place so that then we can start ouching to what we wanted. And that brings me to my something very interesting from my end, because I am curious to ask you this question. What would you suggest? Because sometimes when it comes to career planning, I could see two sectors to it. One is someone who is just out of the college, who had literally no idea about the industry, even IT for that matter. They will feel like, okay, this industry pays me more, this industry is, all colorful, so let me join. That's one kind of people. Other side, there are people who are already into an IT industry, but for some reason, we are not so planned very well. So now we are stuck at some point in the career advancement, and they wanted to plan it well, kickstart it, and then reboost their career growth. So which one would you think is the right way to approach this, and what is your advice on that?
So basically, whether you're fresher or you're a lateral with some years of experience stuck wherever you are today,
Hmm.
uh, I believe that whenever you wake up, it's a new day. So just
Okay.
start doing what you should have had been doing for long. It's not like I have been doing my career planning from the day I left college. No, for me, things happened organically as well.
Hmm.
But then looking back, I realized that if I would have had known when I had like 3 years of experience that this is the goal where I wanted to be,
Hmm.
and if I would have had really planned things well and would have had strategically networked and would have had gathered all the skills that were required for that final position where I wanted myself to be 15 years later, I would have had been at least one designation higher than where I am today.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay,
True.
so it doesn't matter whether you are starting or you are at some place. Career planning you can do at any stage, and and even if you are not doing for very long term, you should at least do it for the next 3 years, for the next step where you need to be, and then move from there, because there are always possibilities, because we are in a very dynamic world, right? And things may change. But then having a vision of where you want to be would always serve as that North Star and help you out. Sure.
Hmm.
So, so if you do not know what are the career paths, then there are a lot of tools available to us today. You can go to job websites, you can go to the AI tools that we have today. You can even go to your seniors and ask them, talk with your manager if you are already working, what are your options? Like in IT, there are a lot of lateral shifts you can do. I have done quite a few. So I started as a quality analyst or a tester. Then I
Hmm.
moved into business analysis. So
Hmm.
then in business analysis, I was working on one domain. Then I moved to another domain, which was into the banking itself. Uh,
Hmm.
then I worked there for a few years. Then I moved to another role. So from my business analysis role, I moved to a product owner role. And
Hmm.
now, for the fourth time, I'm actually looking for one more role on the business side, which I may try for. So you need to plan accordingly where you want to be and what is it that's adding value to you and your career,
Okay. Hmm.
and something that you would enjoy doing, because if you're not enjoying what you are doing, then no amount of planning is going to
Exactly.
help you.
No one can help you. You are in your hell, right? And then every day in and day out, you'll feel like, oh my God, it's like a horror movie of the life.
I know.
Amazing, Pooja, because you rightly said, because I always felt like this when we get to know things in a much earlier days. It's like kind of not to regret for the mistakes that we have made over years. It's better that we plan early so that we can start looking at it at a much better way, plan it very well so that we can reach where we wanted, because that clarity is very much needed. In fact, I think like not many of us a decade before was being taught like this, someone telling us, guiding us, you know what, no, just test this industry. If that is not working, then move on to the next role or industry, whatever that you wanted to. It was amazing. So what is that one advice, Pooja, as a final thing you want to give to our community in terms of career advancement?
One thing that I have not done, and I realized it really late in my life, but I corrected it as soon as I realized this: finding a mentor or a guide.
Mm.
Okay, it can be anybody. Okay. So you can actually find somebody who is like one or two level above you. Ask them to mentor you. Mentoring is actually honoring the other person. So don't shy away from doing it. People would be very, very happy to mentor you. Like I have mentors who are managing directors in the place where I work, and they are very happy to mentor and really guide people around. So don't shy away. Have a mentor. If you do not know where you are going, why you are doing it, then please have somebody who can help you. And we all need help. Nobody is self-sufficient ever.
Ask for help. Ask for help, yes.
Yeah, and find the right people to help you. So
Definitely.
find mentors. That one thing that you can take away from me.
Perfect, Pooja, because one thing that we all hesitate is to ask for help. Nobody is ready to open the mouth and seek for someone's advice or help, which is really amazing. And thank you so much, Pooja, for all the insights that you gave us, because it was very eye-opening. Many things, like I always used to think like which way to go, which is the right time to actually plan a career and all that. I got so much of clarity. Of course, I think the viewers of this particular video is also having so much of clarity in what they wanted. Even in fact, if they have any questions, I would definitely request the viewers to drop a message in the comments so that we can reply back. And of course, to everyone who is watching this particular live session, I want to tell you all this. We both are co-authoring in a book called You Can Coach. So please buy the book. And not only our story, there are 68 other authors who has written inspiring stories on that. And Pooja, thank you so much for your time and coming here, giving us more value additions in terms of small tips that our community can actually start implementing. Thanks a lot for that. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sasirekha. Thank you for having me. And yes, the book that Sasirekha just spoke about, the I Can Coach, that's actually a groundbreaking book, and you would find so much of inspiration if you go through all the stories that so many of us have had gone through. All of our lives are
Yes,
there and experiences are there. So yes, go ahead, bye.
it's all our
Thank you.
mind and heart are put together. So don't miss out on the book. And it is getting published on the month on 1st of April. So I would highly recommend you buy the book and start reading it for more inspiration and transformation. Thank you so much for each one of you for joining with us. Thanks a lot.